In this video, you will see the solution to the practice exercise, Create and Assign Materials. In this exercise, we must create a new timber siding material which will be assigned to a wall type and painted onto the faces of some existing walls in the model. The material must be added to the model from the material library and its properties edited to suit the requirements of the new timber siding material. I have the exercise file, Wall Materials, open, and we can see the building here that will create the material and apply to the walls on the upper half of this building. First, we'll access the material browser, so from the Manage Ribbon tab, on the Settings panel here, we'll click on Materials to open the material browser. Now, in the search bar at the top, we'll search for wood materials. And in the library panel at the bottom here, if we scroll virtually to the bottom, we can see that we have the wood planks material that we're looking for. So we'll select this and then we'll use the Add Material to Document to copy it from the library into our project. So now it's in the project, we can edit it in the Material Editor panel here. It's gone straight to the Appearance tab and we can see the Appearance asset, and it's the Andiroba natural material here. We want to replace this with a different one. So from the top right hand side, we'll click on the Replace This Asset button, and this will open up the asset browser. In the search bar at the top, we'll search for wood panels. And now from the list of results, we'll click on the Siding subcategory here. And then we'll find the wood horizontal asset, and then we can click on the Replace button here to replace the asset on the material with the wood horizontal asset that we've just chosen. So we can see that that's been applied in the background, so we'll close down the asset browser. And now we want to adjust the scale of the image to make the planks the correct size for our material. And to do this, we'll click on the image swatch here to open up the texture editor. And in here we can see we have a larger preview of the texture and we can see the size that it's been scaled to. And looking further down at the scale panel, we can see we have the sample size for width and height. And we want to set the height to be 4 feet. So if we click in, we need to type this in inches, so we'll type in 48 inches. And we can see that updates to 4 feet with the width of 8 feet. So now we'll click Done to finish the texture editor. And we can also see that the preview has got bigger planks in there now as we've scaled up the texture. Next we'll swap to the Graphics tab. And on the shading panel here we can see that it has a grey colour for in shaded views. And we'll check the Use Render Appearance option here, and this will bring through the colour of the texture into the actual shaded colour. Now looking at the surface pattern on the foreground panel, we need to apply a surface pattern to this. So where it says None, we'll click to open up the Fill Patterns. We'll change the pattern type to Model, and then we'll choose the 6-inch parallel pattern and click OK to assign that onto our foreground pattern. So now that we have that done, that's finished creating our new material. We'll click OK to close down the material browser. And now we need to assign that material into the wall type for the upper half of the building. So I'll select one of these walls. We'll click on this one here at the end. And looking at the type selector, we can see that this is the exterior timber siding wall type. So we'll click Edit Type to access its type properties. And now we need to assign the material into the wall assembly. So from the construction panel, next to the structure parameter, we'll click the Edit button. And that opens up the wall assembly here. And for layer 1, which is the finish layer, we can see the material is currently set to be by category. So we'll click onto this, and now with the button that appears, we'll click here to open up the material browser. As the wood planks material is the last material we were editing in here, it's already selected. So we can just click OK. And now that material has been assigned into that layer. So we'll click OK to save that change, and then click OK to apply that onto the walls in the model. So now deselecting this end wall, we can see that we have that material assigned to all of the walls of that type, which is all the way around the upper floor of the building. We also need to assign the material onto the outside of the garage wall here. However, we will just paint this onto the surface rather than actually edit the type properties of this wall. So to do this, we'll go to the Modify Ribbon tab, and from the Geometry panel, we'll click on the Paint tool. This opens up a slightly different material browser. And again, because the wood planks material is the one that we've been working on, we can see it's already selected within the browser. So now, leaving this material browser open, we can go into the actual view here and click on the face of the object to paint that material on. So having got the side wall here, we'll click on the front wall, and now we can orbit around to the opposite side and click on the extra wall here. And now we have that material painted onto the surface of the walls for the garage. So we'll click Done to finish the paint tool. And now we can see that we've got that wood planks material assigned into the wall type for the upper floor and also painted onto the garage walls. And that completes the exercise for creating and assigning materials.